Welcome back to the DRS training series. This is going to be a brief tutorial on setting up your service areas. To set up our service areas, we'll go into Admin, Order Config, Service Areas. The main thing we need to concern ourselves with here is cities. The button that says Autofill Zip Codes and Cities near 87123 has pulled that zip code from the warehouse address. We entered in the warehouse address using the setup wizard when we first logged into the system. If you have not yet completed the setup wizard, we recommend you do so now. It contains a lot of basic information about your company that the system uses for various functions throughout the system. If for whatever reason you haven't input your warehouse address or you need to update it, you can do so at Admin, General Config, Company Info. The best way to establish our service areas is to click on this button to autofill the zip codes and cities near your warehouse address zip code. Doing so generates a list of zip codes, cities, and states within a given radius. The default radius is 20 miles, but you can change that if you like. If you do change that radius, make sure to click Find to do a new search. The cities in this list will populate to a drop-down menu of cities that your customers can choose from while checking out online. Duplicates will only show up once if they are spelled the same, but it's important to keep in mind that every different spelling will result in a unique entry. In addition, there are almost always entries in this list of cities that aren't actually cities. For example, in this case, Kirtland Air Force Base is not actually a city. It's an Air Force Base that happens to be in Albuquerque. So I don't want Kirtland Air Force Base showing up as a city. Same with Sandia Base and Manzano Base. UNM is University of New Mexico. Again, not a city, but rather a college that happens to be in the city of Albuquerque. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Public Service Company of New Mexico is our public utility. Don't need that in there. You can see we've got 5 different entries for what is colloquially known as Los Ranchos. Technically, it's the village of Los Ranchos de Albuquerque. But again, we only need it to show up once. I'm also going to uncheck any cities and townships that I don't want to do business in. Alright, now that we have a clean list, I'm going to go ahead and import the zips. Now we should have a clean list of cities, but just to double check, I'm going to go back into service areas and make sure that it's cities that we're looking at. Now looking at this list, I'm realizing that I missed one entry that shouldn't be in there. Los Padillas is not actually a city, it's really a neighborhood. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. And now our list is clean. Incidentally, another reason why it's important to clean up your list of cities is for reporting purposes. For example, if I had left all 5 different spellings of Los Ranchos in this list of cities, all of my customers doing business with me in Los Ranchos could choose any one of those 5 entries. And so later, looking at my reports, it might seem that I'm doing business in 5 different cities, when in actuality, all 5 of those entries are the same city. So again, having a clean list of cities is important for reporting purposes, as well as making sure that your customers have a user-friendly shopping experience. Now another thing we can do here is establish a travel fee, minimum order, and tax rate for different cities. For example, Los Lunas is a city about 25 miles south of Albuquerque, and I don't want to schlep all the way out there for orders less than, let's say $500. They also have a different tax rate. Now I'm not going to set a travel fee specifically for Los Lunas because I'm using travel fee by mile. The DRS system allows you to set your travel fees by city, zip code, or by mile. Again, with my account, I like to do travel fee by mile, so I'm not going to establish a travel fee for Los Lunas. But if you are doing travel fees by city, you can do that here. Now we can also do the same thing with zip codes. Again, if we want to, we can go ahead and establish a travel fee, minimum order, and tax rate for a particular zip code. Just remember that sometimes different townships and cities share a zip code. For example, here you see Albuquerque and Los Ranchos both have an 87107 zip code. So if you'd like to establish travel fees, minimum orders, or different tax rates for different zip codes, make sure you're editing each zip code separately. For example, many people who live in Los Ranchos would actually just pick Albuquerque out of the drop-down menu for cities when they're placing their order. And Google Maps will find it. So if I only edit 87107 for Los Ranchos and someone chooses Albuquerque from the drop-down menu, none of the settings that I've established for 87107 in Los Ranchos will populate to that order. Now, a couple of things that can be useful if you'd like to make edits to a big list like this. We can click here to customize our view. So I don't feel like I need to be looking at the import ID right now, but it would be useful to see the tax rate for each city. Another thing that can be helpful in situations like this is spreadsheet mode. Spreadsheet mode allows you to make edits directly from this screen rather than having to click into each individual entry. So I'm going to update the minimum order for algodones, set that at 500, and put in the tax rate there. Same with Bernalillo, and so on. Now, another thing that we should do while we're in here is go ahead and click into states, and we should go ahead and specify a title for each state. Of course, most of us are only going to serve one state, but some of us might serve more than that. In any case, it's a good idea to specify a title for each state for reporting purposes. For user friendliness and reporting purposes, most people go with the title that's identical to the name. So we can see that during the checkout process, the drop-down menu of cities available for our customers to choose from matches the service areas that we've established. By default, the DRS system does allow your customers to choose Other for a city, and also for a state. The reason for this is that sometimes somebody might have a billing address that is outside of your service areas, but they still want to make a reservation at a job site that is within your service areas. Since credit card companies typically cross-check billing address information during orders, it's important for your customers to be able to input a city and state that is outside of your service areas just for their billing address. By default, there is no other option for city or state for the actual job site address. If for whatever reason you would like to enable an other option for the job site address, or you would like to disable the other option for billing address, you can do so at Admin, Order Config, Miscellaneous Order Settings. Scroll down almost all the way to the bottom of the screen and look for the setting Allow Other for Customers City, Allow Other for Customers Billing State, and Allow Other for Orders City, Allow Others for Order State. If you make any edits, don't forget to save your changes. If at any time you have further questions about this or any other aspect of using the system, you can always click on Help and enter the knowledge base and do a keyword search for the issue that you're having questions about. You can also always reach out to the tech support department at 505-435-9731, extension 102, or support@eventrentalsystems.com. I hope this is helpful. Our next video will be about building out your inventory. Thanks for watching and have a great day.